When you got to go downstairs as a young intern who came to do what you wanted to do, and you have to go downstairs with your senior doctor and tell two kids, a husband and a sister, that their loved one is not coming home, it changes your view.
Thanks for staying with us at 1:30. That interview exactly 1 month ago today. We brought it to you from Dr. Edgar Mandeville. The OBGYN saw firsthand what life was like in New York City before Roe v. Wade was passed in 1973. And tonight he has a lot today about today's historic reversal. Dr. Mandeville, thanks for your time tonight. And as a former abortion provider, what are your views on today's decision?
I think, as everyone else has said all day, we will all remember where we were when this decision came down. It's absolutely devastating, both to patients and to the profession.
You know, there are some people who are against today's decision, and they're saying abortion is not a moral issue, it's a medical issue. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely. There's no question about it. I could spend all day long telling you the many medical positive things that have happened in the process of women's health care, which includes reproductive health in general and the availability of safe, affordable abortion.
You know, when we interviewed you last month, you were very candid and you talked about seeing women die. That soundbite we played was when you were a young intern at Harlem Hospital and you saw the devastating impact of what happens when abortionists try to end a pregnancy and they don't know what they're doing. So take us back to that time.
It was awful. We would see women who had been taken care of, if I may use that term very, very loosely, by local abortion providers, but they were unlicensed, they were not medical professionals, and the end result oftentimes was devastating. Women died, women lost their uteri, women had intense infections, they had kidney failure. I could go on and on and on, and we cannot, as a society, go back to that.
You know, but Dr. Mandeville, we are effective tonight going back to that. These trigger laws are going into effect immediately, and there are women in at least 13 states, as we said at the top of the show, that will not have access to a safe abortion in their state. What your reaction?
The good news is that we in New York State have been protected. The governor has allotted a significant amount of money to prepare for this eventuality, which we knew was coming. And we will be prepared. Having said that, Mitch McConnell and Justice Thomas have said that this may be just the beginning. And today, Mike Pence said that, in fact, he is looking for, if I want to quote him properly, a nationwide ban on abortion. So we can go right back to those bad old days across the nation. So we have to be prepared for that.
You know, it's very rare for someone like yourself who performed abortions to speak publicly. Why did you decide to break your silence with New York One?
This is critical. I mean, women will die. I mean, there's just no way around it. And the personal safety of those of us who have provided this kind of care is secondary, but important. It's secondary to the needs of the populace that we serve, but by the same token, it is important because the law, as it is intended to go forward, will pit doctors against patients. There'll be police involved. I used to see all of that. There are very few of us who are still around who saw the terrible downstream effects of the inability of women to get full reproductive care.
How do you respond to critics who say, and there are lots of them out there, they fought hard for this day and they're celebrating tonight. They believe abortion is immoral, they believe it's a criminal act, and they think anyone who performs abortions should be locked up. Your reaction?
If this wasn't so terrible in terms of what's going to happen in many states, and not right away in New York, happily, it would be laughable. The hypocrisy of the same crowd who tells us that we are immoral, we who have saved lives of women, are the same crowd that have no trouble advocating gun policies that kill children who have names, birthdays, clothes, friends, and the like. So spare me that moral hypocrisy, please.
What does today's, and this is my final question to you, sir, what does today's decision mean for low-income women seeking an abortion in states like Mississippi?
It means that they will have no access, certainly to places like New York. They will not be able to travel to New York, as wealthy women have always been able to do. And it will be devastating. We all know what is going to happen, and especially those of us who have seen it before.
Dr. Edgar Mandeville, appreciate your time tonight.